Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Plus, we won our previous run, and we're very preachy about it in the process. That's the double threat right there. Yo, this is a great start. QCX0, Pez 8. It's actually called the Pizzone. You have it a little incorrect there. You ever think we've, by the way, I probably don't need to tell you this. I'm pretty stoked about Diplopia. I'm pretty stoked about piercing shots. We got a good amount of ammunition here to carry us through. You ever think that maybe, just maybe, we're done inventing cool and new foods? I really feel like, when was the last food invention that stuck around? Now, it's a little weird for me to say because I live in probably one of the most hipstery cities in the world, maybe. So we have new foods show up all the time. Or foods that were previously, you know, like 3 out of 10 popular, have brief surges where they become like 10 out of 10 popular. You can't, you know, when I first moved to Vancouver in 2012, it was like Belgian waffles. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a Belgian waffle. I love a Liège style waffle. I love a savory waffle. But they were everywhere. You couldn't shake a stick without finding a new Belgian waffle place. And over the years, you know, cold brew has come and stuck around for sure. Bubble / boba tea has always been, at least since I lived here, it's always been relatively popular. But within the past 2 or 3 years, it has, like, exploded. There's, like, I'll tell you, when Kate and I played Magic regularly, you know, we'd have to drive to go to the game store to play Magic the Gathering. On the way back, she'd be like, yo, get some bubble tea. We would drive for like 15 minutes to go to like the #1 bubble tea place. Now, we drove by it the other day, and we were like, I would never, what do you mean drive 15 minutes to get good bubble tea? There's bubble tea everywhere. The idea of leaving your sphere of convenience to get bubble tea is now comical, but hold on. You may leave, Ruka. Most of these foods are foods that are popular, you know, elsewhere in the world. But then, you know, become rediscovered, quote-unquote, in, you know, wherever you live or wherever I happen to live, and become popular as a result of that. So I'm not saying, like, oh, fish tacos, what a new food. But when was the last food invention, you know, that really has stuck around? Is it like the California roll? It was probably invented in like the 70s or 80s. Because you know, the cronut, the half croissant, half donut, that didn't stick around. It was popular for like a little bit. I'm trying to think. You know, when I kind of like, I don't have a crusade against fast food, but I basically don't eat it now. Just because it's, you know, not conducive to my fitness goals for the most part. Usually after I eat, I just kind of like feel bad. But whenever I see an ad for fast food, I'm always like, I think A&W does it the best. A&W Canada, their ads are like, hey, check it out, we're selling burgers, they're $3. And I'm like, whoa, that's a, you know, if you could persuade me, that might have persuaded me. Sure, let's try it here. We got an unbelievably strong run. I'll use a bomb. That's okay. It's the one downside of piercing shots there. But then, like, the one that gets me, I was watching some American TV, and there was an ad for Jack in the Box. Apparently, I've never eaten at a Jack in the Box. But apparently, they have a new customizable chicken sandwich where you pay by the patty. You know, you pay by the amount of chicken that goes onto the sandwich. So they were like, you could get 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, okay, let me stop you right there. 1, perfect. Quit drilling, you hit oil. 2, alright, look, I think that's like a novelty. I love chicken, especially like deep fried, breaded, battered chicken breast. But I don't want to bite into a sandwich and have, like, you know, 3 inches of chicken to get through. You know, it's going to create a mouthfeel that's exclusively like hot flesh. I miss that nuance of the Jack in the Box experience, you know? Absolutely not. I will not take Libra. Yes, we will. I think the damage upgrade will compensate for the tears down. I mean, this run is just so freaking good right now. I got 0 complaints. 3, that's just ridiculous. 4, it boggles the mind. Look, different people have different tolerances for gluttony, I suppose. I would describe a fried chicken sandwich with 4 chicken breasts on it as a little gluttonous for sure. But surely there's nobody out there that's like, oh, the platonic ideal for the amount of chicken on a chicken sandwich is the chicken from 4 breasts. That's almost an entire chicken, breaded and deep fried, and then put between 2 pieces of bread on a sandwich. That's too much. This is coming from the guy. How many chicken nuggets did I eat in that in the chicken nugget challenge? I don't know. It was like 50, 52 or something like that. It's not, you know, I'm not Joey. I was gonna say Joey Salads. Wrong food item. I'm not Joey Chestnut. But like, I do want that. So I hope we can diplopia on this floor. That's, you know, I'm not like, ooh, oh, a cucumber slice. Oh, I'm full, you know. I eat a lot. But I'm like, you know, at some point there's got to be like a new innovation beyond just adding as many chicken breasts as possible to a sandwich, you know? It gets a little bit ridiculous. I don't understand. If I have one enduring legacy as a content creator, I want it to be this. I don't understand the rise of big burgers. Okay? I'll eat, if I go to like a pub style restaurant, most of the time I will get like a sandwich or a burger. So I'm down with that, don't get me wrong. But literally 100% of the time, I'm a 1 patty man. 2 patties, I've had it, I've appreciated it, and I understand it, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, you know, especially like a thin beef patty, 2 of those can hit the spot, don't get me wrong. Once you get over that level, that's where I start to just be like, we gotta start working on this, like as a society. It's not you go to, you sit down at a restaurant, they're like, hey, we got the classic burger. If you're like a piece of garbage, if you don't have any self-respect, I suppose you could just get the classic burger. Yeah, it's like a brioche bun and, you know, a little romaine lettuce slice. And yeah, we got house-made chipotle mayonnaise on top of that, the grass-fed Angus beef patty. Or, if you're a real man, why don't you get the macho burger with machismo sauce? It's got 16 all-beef patties injected with human growth hormone, 1 slice of cheese per patty, an entire pack of bacon, deep fried, and instead of buns, the buns are other hamburgers. Lesser hamburgers that our hamburger has conquered and bended to its own will. It's, for some reason, the classic burger is $12.99. The machismo burger, despite having quintuple the amount of ingredients, is only like 75 cents more. And you're like, well, I've got to get the... Look at how much more food it is. Here's my love of a burger. My appreciation of a burger. Let's not say the L word. So here's the thing, you know, I do want to take I'm a Fire, I'm a Laser. So I think we will use Diplopia. We're either going to use it to get more HP, or we're going to use it to double up on this shop. See if we can get something good in the shop first. Nah. Well, I mean, we could at least buy that. It's not very good at all, but it was worth a shot. Good item, please. This is like almost good enough. I think we're gonna do it because we have two passive items here, which is a pretty good return on our investment. There's like 2 things I want in a burger. You know, I look at a burger almost like the way that I would imagine. And I don't know any architects, so I don't know if this is how it works. But the way like an architect looks at a building. You know, when I look at a building, I'm like, oh, cool, look, it's got a big hole in the middle for a roller coaster to go through. I'm sure the architect looks at the building and is like, oh, that's a lot of hard work to get that past certification. How's that to code? What happens if somebody gets stuck in the hole? You know, you get the idea. I look at a burger through an architectural engineering lens. Can I fit my mouth around the burger comfortably and chomp down without pulling a muscle in my jaw? That's important. Secondarily, when I bite into the burger, does it create a weird burger funnel that shoots the ingredients on the other side of the burger out from under the bun from which they have been placed betwixt? If that's the case, because then you take a bite of the north side of the burger. The south side of the burger, I'm sorry, my friend. The south side of the burger has like a bunch of, you know, tomatoes and lettuce and cheese slide out of it. Then you gotta rotate the burger to the south side. You take a bite just to balance it out, but the bite doesn't even have a bun associated with it. And at that point, you're like, I didn't order just a beef patty. That's absurd. I wanted a burger, but this burger, it's because I got too much bun on the last one. Anyway, you get the idea, kinda. I'm just saying, I think like, kind of think we're done with food evolutions, you know? I think we've discovered the best foods. How many more people are always coming up with new foods, but like every food that people come up with is just a combination of already pre-made foods. It's always like, it's a hamburger, but the buns are gummy bears. And you're like, I don't know, man. Doesn't sound like what I'm looking for. It's sushi inside of a burrito. It's a burrito inside of seaweed. I'm not saying you shouldn't, you know, keep striving. I just, you know, I feel bad for food inventors, I guess. So I think it's all been discovered. You know, the meme like, born too late to explore the world, too early to explore the stars, just in time to explore dank memes. That's what being a culinary scientist is like right now. Born too early to, you know, repurpose a traditional food from another culture for a Western audience and make millions of dollars off of it. Wait, too late, I should say. Born too early to sample food from alien cuisines. Just take synth oil on that one, but it's a tough choice, to be honest. Born just in time to, I don't know, have Domino's sell you a pizza for like $4 each. It's crazy to me. I get very upset on other Canadians' behalves watching American TV. You know how much it costs to go out for pizza as a family in Canada? If you got like 3 people, you get, I don't know, 2 pizzas. Admittedly, it gives you some leftovers, don't get me wrong. That could be like 30 bucks. It depends where you go. Pizza Hut is like notoriously expensive here for whatever reason. But you know, I bet if I looked it up right now, if I went Pizza Hut large meat lovers pizza, I bet in Canada that's like a $24 pizza. Pizza Hut large meat lovers cost. Large meat lovers pizza is $15. $15 US, okay. Well, let's just, you know, it doesn't necessarily work like this, but 15 USD to CAD. That's $19.87. Let's call it $20 even. I told you, it's expensive, dude. So I watch, you know, American TV, and it's like, hey, pop into Domino's. If you buy 1 pizza at its regular price of $7.50, we'll give you the rest of the pizzas in the store for free. That's our personal guarantee. And I'm like, what is it? How is that possible? How is it possible that the Domino's is so much cheaper in the United States versus I'm not mad for my own sake. I'm just saying, you know, we're getting ripped off here. And it would make more sense to me if it was like, oh, well, you know, tomatoes only grow in America, so it makes sense. But that's not the case at all. I don't get it. So Canadians are used to it. We always pay a little bit more for most stuff. You might be like, what about maple syrup? We pay out the nose for maple syrup. I have no idea where the myth came from that maple syrup is given away freely here. If anything, it's hoarded like a precious metal. I'll try. You know, I know that there a few years ago, well, actually, it was like a decade ago, there was that, ha ha ha, isn't Canada such a quaint country? In America, we have bank robberies. In Canada, there was a big maple syrup heist. Yo, why don't you pump the brakes? You know that maple syrup heist was like gang related. People made off with like tens of millions of dollars of maple syrup. You know, this ain't your, you know, amiibo heist when the Splatoon amiibos came out. This is a real precious commodity. It's like Goldfinger breaking into Fort Knox, you know? The syrup is worth more than money, because you can eat it. You know that classic Native American proverb? It's, you know, only when all the buffalo are gone will they realize you can't eat money. And then in Canada, we were like, well... They're like, okay, not you guys, you got the syrup, okay? That's why I keep all of my holdings in liquid. Get what I mean? Because I don't actually buy maple syrup. It's kind of impractical to eat, to be honest. I don't eat, like, you know, pancakes, waffles on the regular. You could use it in, you know, cuisine. You could use it for, like, a glaze on something, like a salmon or something like that. But to be honest, anything, and I'm gonna maybe lose citizenship for saying this, anything that requires maple syrup for a recipe, if you want to save like 75% of the cost of the ingredients, you could just buy some honey. It's not the same flavor, but it's pretty close. I'm sorry, maple syrup lobbyers. I know, dude, I'm not even messing with it. I watched a documentary, so I'm basically an expert, but there is indeed, I'm not sure if it's Canada-wide, but it's definitely at least in Quebec, which is where most syrup is harvested, made, in Canada. There's like a, there's like OPEC, you know, the oil and petroleum exporting nations. There's like a cartel, a literal definition congruent cartel. Not like, you know, I'm not making a Narcos style joke here. There's a cartel for maple syrup that dictates like, hey, you can only produce and export this much maple syrup per year. The minimum price per, you know, milliliter for maple syrup is this, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And if you go against the cartel, you're loco. Anyway, what was I talking about? I'm just saying. I think we're like out of new food ideas. Can't remember the last time I ate like a new food. What about pretzel buns? Okay, sure. I've eaten things on pretzel buns. It's really just a repurposing of old foods, you know? You ever think like gelatin salads are ever gonna come back? I know you're like, probably not. But bucket hats are coming back. And in fact, they might already be back if you're cool. Which I'm extremely so I would know. But if you had asked me like 10 years ago, and you were like, what has a better chance of coming back to prevalence in society? A bucket hat or Jell-O salads? I would be like, you're gonna have to give me 24 hours. I've got to consider very carefully the amount of evidence on display here, because the bucket hat is just, I've never found it to be a good look, even when it was cool. Mind you, the first time it was cool was when I was like 10, and now when it's cool, I'm like 30. So I kind of missed that period of my life where I actually cared about, you know, even in the slightest looking trendy. And I do mean the slightest. So, maybe I'm not the #1 authority there, but Jell-O salads are like, I feel like salads need a defender. You know, I will say, salads have come a long way. When I was a kid, I remember, you know, my aunt, she's not watching this. I'm not trying to be impersonal, but, you know, the entire time that I knew her, she struggled with her weight. You know, she had gastric bypass surgery. And actually, it stuck, which was awesome for her. And this, we're talking like back in the mid-1990s. So I don't know. I'm not saying that it was like she was the first gastric bypass surgery ever completed, but you know, it was back in a day when it was definitely a little bit less common, I think. I'm not. I mean, with Holy Mantle, we actually should do this. And we're still gonna take Shoop-da-Whoop, but anyway. But I remember, like, we would go out and she would get a salad, and like every time she got a salad, it was the same bowl of sadness. It was just like shredded iceberg lettuce, cucumber slices, julienne carrots, and then like you're not allowed to have croutons, which is fair. I mean, it's basically like wheat potato chips. It's like eating a whole baguette with your salad. But anyway, that's very sad, you know? I can imagine, I think that's why there's a little bit of salad inertia to this day and age. People are like, oh, if I eat a salad, it's like compromising. Salads are delicious now. You can get salads that are bad for you. You can get salads that are good for you. Put some fresh cranberries on top of it. I don't like cranberries. All right, well, you know, you drive a hard bargain. Here's some slivered almonds. You know, variety of dressings that, you know, you can change your green. You don't have to have iceberg lettuce. You can go with romaine instead. It's a little bit richer. A little bit of butter lettuce for that mouthfeel. Kale, I like it, but a lot of people don't. Anyway, the point is, salads have come a long way. But a mayonnaise-based salad, it just creeps me out, dude. People wonder sometimes. I don't have a problem with mayonnaise. I never willfully put mayonnaise on anything that I eat. I kind of treat it the same way that I've treated Schedule 4 narcotics, you know? Everybody, from all I've heard, the feeling of eating mayonnaise is great, but it's not necessarily great for you, so I'd rather just not know, you know? I don't want to be like that one dude on Reddit who was like, hey, ask me anything, I'm gonna try mayonnaise tonight. Not gonna get addicted to it, by the way. And everyone was like, please don't try mayonnaise, you're gonna get addicted. And he's like, actually, I'm smarter than everybody else. And then like a month later, he was like, hey, ask me anything, I can't stop shooting up mayonnaise. I don't want to be that guy. But also, you know, if it's on a sandwich or a burger at a restaurant, I don't freak out about it. That's fine. But my dad is like, he's really, really anti-mayonnaise. I don't know. I'll tell you, Nan, if you're watching this video, I apologize. But I think maybe there had been a culinary incident when he was a youth. I don't know that there was that made him sour on mayonnaise. Like maybe my grandpa caught him eating a little mayonnaise and then he was like, oh, you're gonna eat mayonnaise. You think you're an adult, huh? Who can make his own choice about what kind of fatty spreads he does and doesn't eat? Well, why don't you sit down and eat this whole jar of mayonnaise in front of me? We'll see how much of a man you are. Just two dudes sharing mayonnaise. Okay, well that's... Might want to rework the phrasing on that one. But anyway. My grandma, you know, I volunteered to help out with her daycare when I was in like middle school. And every day for lunch, she would make me boiled hot dogs served in white bread instead of a bun. Now I'm like, you know, it's food. As an adult, I'm like, it's matter. I wouldn't say no. But even to this day, I'm like, if you're serving it on bread all the time, and you're eating this many hot dogs, why not just buy buns? Like, I'll tell you, I don't buy hot dogs that often. You know, probably like once every like 3 or 4 years will I buy hot dogs at the grocery store. It's because of the bun problem. It's a classic stand-up comedy problem. Why do they sell the hot dogs in packages of 12 and the buns in packages of 8? It catches you in a never-ending hot dog bun cycle that you can never get out of. Hey, I'm out of buns, but I still have hot dogs. Better buy some buns. But now I'm out of hot dogs, I need buns. Wait, I need hot dogs. You see, it's very complicated. You might say, well, why not just buy 2 packs of hot dogs and 3 packs of buns, and then you'll have 24. Yeah, okay. Why don't I just pull out my freaking abacus in the grocery store and find the lowest common denominator between hot dogs and hot dog buns, and then look myself in the mirror as a rational human being and say, self, we're gonna eat 24 friggin' hot dogs this month. And probably like this week, before the buns go bad. I'm not gonna eat 24 hot dogs, are you insane? I eat like 3 hot dogs, that's my maximum. Not in a sitting, I'm talking about like over the course of like a week. I mean, I could eat more, I would just prefer not to. Anyway, I'm just saying, there might have been a mayonnaise-based situation that scarred my father for life. He's better about it now than he was when I was a kid, but like definitely, even now, like we were gonna take him to this really, really nice Indian place for his birthday when they were here. And when he looked at the menu, he was like, I don't know, it seems like they have a lot of cream-based curries. And I was like, you know, it's your birthday. I'm not... You're in your 50s. I'm not gonna be like, you know, hey, you know, try something new, youngster. When you grow up, you're gonna regret it, you know? But I was like, you know that mayonnaise and coconut milk are 2 different things. You know, mayonnaise and ghee are 2 different things, right? But, you know, when you're weird about food, about a specific food, you can't really reason with people, you know what I mean? You can't, because it's... Taste is, like, so mental. If you just try to, you know, if someone's like, I don't like kale, it tastes like a garbage bag. And you're like, oh yeah? Well, what if I put, you know, tempura crumbles on top of it? They're like, now it tastes like a crunchy garbage bag. Anyway, you get the idea. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!